and 13 extra resource points, or the belief.
Hey guys, welcome back to the second hour of our Burning Crowns. Doing our character burning session today. Going through all our character stuff. We have a lot of that. We've been kind of spending a couple weeks kind of formulating the direction we want to do our characters, but we're spending a session just to formalize and introduce ourselves to you, audience, who want to see us, and sort of about the setting and that kind of stuff, and get that all kind of squared away on screen so you guys can watch us and kind of get an idea of what's going on. And because it's not all, I don't know, it's not supposed to be super complicated. But I know if you haven't played Burning Wheel before, or you're interested in playing Burning Wheel, it's very valuable to see other groups. See how they come about designing characters and the importance of designing characters together. So that's what we're doing here today. So, I believe we were still deciding on a little bit of things, such as Wreckage's last life path that he wanted to take.
As you said, Eric, this is about burning characters together. So, why? And it seems I'm rather indifferent, actually. The benefits to either of those, that fourth life path, is largely. I'm largely indifferent to it, so I guess perhaps I will ask the others what they think if it's about burning characters together.
I don't know exactly the best way to answer this question for you. Maybe someone else has some cool ideas, but what I would say is I would take the life path that directs your character to the appropriate narrative challenge that you want to see. So, like, what is it about your character that you want to, like? I mean, this would be totally getting into the beliefs and stuff like that, but, like, what kind of central conflicts are you looking at? Like, for example, what I mean when I say that, what I'm talking about is, for AP's character, like, for Count Ronald, it's very clear that he has aspirations to make his house more important than what it is before, what it is now, right? Rise above his station. That's sort of, like, I think, the way he wants to go, right? Become a money...
I believe the way I stated it is that...
Oh, I'm sorry, not rise above your station. Return to the station that you have.
Will be recognized as the station it wondrously is.
Yes, yes. I'm sorry, you're not rising above any station.
Prepared, be prepared.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Yep.
All right. Thank you, Scar. Thank you.
Is that our third influence, dear?
Your Littlefinger, Scar, and the governor of Pocahontas. Okay.
Governor Ratcliffe. Perfect.
Amazing. So what I want to know is, you're playing a character of Gorm, right? You're playing like a knight of Gorm.
Yeah. So
do you want to? Yeah. Like what is it about that interests you? Is it the city building stuff? Is it like the conflicts of like, you know, making a city a new nation?
So the great thing about the character is that theoretically he has something to do in every conceivable stage of what's forthcoming, right? He's out here with his squad originally, literally just to smash barbarian skulls, because that'll test his martial prowess. But after that, he has very strong opinions about what makes a strong group, about what makes a strong civilization, what makes a strong city. And
Are you on a quest?
Not a specifically defined quest. I mean, the ultimate goal is to be bishop of the church, and that is all about personal accomplishment. In this case, but he would also love to spread the church to this land, which is barbarians and probably following unreformed Gormism. So it writes itself, pretty much. But the life, like you said, you've been working on this for weeks, and I've had like 4 days. The Burning Wheel is very complicated for me.
It is
the life path stuff.
Remove the life paths and the mechanics. The character building is easily the hardest part of the game. Imagine we're not playing a game, we're telling a story, right? Mm-hmm. Where do you see your character, like, his current trajectory? So you said, like, he wants to become a bishop, right? He wants to become, like, rise in the church, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, he does.
So you want to do... So I would think of a life path that, hey, what would be the most narratively interesting decisions that I can make for my character in that point? Like, do I want to be more advantaged martially? Do I want to have more, like, beliefs regarding, like, the internalities of my faith's doctrines? Like, you know, am I doing this because Gorm gave me a vision quest about something, and I'm doing something in the Stolen Lands to get that in order to secure myself as the bishop, right? Like, am I doing something, what are you trying to, so, like, flagging your conflict and then sort of like coming up with the reasons about that conflict and what it's concerning could be a good way of thinking about how then to take your last life path, right?
Well, so I suppose if we had had more life paths, right, like as a theoretical, hypothetical situation.
Darcy.
Hey,
I'm back. So my Ethernet cable, and I don't. He did something, and it literally disconnected for a second.
God.
So I don't know. Sorry about that. Anyways, yeah. So let's talk about your life path, and
yeah. I guess it works perfectly well. I lose out on a couple skills and some resource points, but we'll just keep militant order because it's simple and we've already done the math for that.
okay.
And they're largely interchangeable. Like those resource points were tempting me and everything, but I think we'll just save ourselves some time and not redo a math.
Cool, because I know you already decided that I'm going to be the dead horse here for a second, but like something that I would say that if you're choosing knight, right, if you're choosing that path, the idea of you serving a higher power, and not just religiously, but like a person's higher agenda and being obligated to do something would be a big part of your character, or at least a part of your character. But if you're not interested in that, and you're more interested in the personal journey of rising to the order of your church, then perhaps
I suppose there would be
one. You could do both, right? Like it's both, but one gives you this extra twist of dealing with your obligations as a knight versus you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, to someone else.
I suppose there's an interesting story hook there where the character definitely doesn't. So depending on who he's sworn homage to, which is part of the knight path, is what we're talking about here. Eric's talking about me being beholden to an extra individual. Regardless of if that individual is in the church or another house, I suppose there's an interesting story idea there, where he would not actually care about that oath very much. That oath doesn't mean anything to him, because what's actually important is the Goramism, the Church of Goramism, the whole strength thing, and promises are important in a strong society. But like, if that person was showing themselves to not be a strong leader, then he would be in a position to disregard that sort of oath, and that might be interesting. But again, I feel like we're spending way too much time on me, and we did already do the math for militant order, so we can save ourselves some time by just keeping that. But
all right,
let's start out some characters.
Okay, so I know you guys have done a lot of the math already for your guys' characters. If someone who thinks they're about done, how about they go ahead and kind of go over quickly the kind of stuff that you've selected, and then if you started to spend your resource points and that sort of stuff, I want to know what you guys have taken.
I'm done-ish. I've got some resource stuff that we need to talk about that we like sort of half ironed out.
Okay.
On the Discord. But I've got like pretty much most of my skills and stuff already on my character burner because I was cheating and kind of doing it the whole time a little bit.
Anatomy, church doctrine, etiquette, falsehood. So guys, if you have never played Burning Wheel, there are a crap ton of skills. Crap ton is the correct answer. Skills such as ritual, etiquette, church doctrine, bureaucracy, surgery. Okay.
I'm not quite sure about bow yet for my general skill points. I figure it might be good to have like one thing for defending myself, and like it would make sense because I come from Isio, where that sort of combat aspect of life is still very prevalent, especially for the noble house. And I'm not big and tough enough to be with using a sword, so maybe they put a bow in my hand when I was younger.
Having some sort of martial training would be probably beneficial.
But so the big things that we were talking about for resource-wise is I start with some 1-die affiliations from someone, and a 2-die affiliation and a 1-die affiliation from my traits. Did we talk about how we wanted to be able to stack that with RPs? So like I could buy I start with.
Oh, it subsidizes. I looked this up. It actually behaves in a way that it subsidizes your paths.
Right. So then I'll that means I only have to pay for a 2D affiliation to get a 3D affiliation with House Sertova, because they're definitely a large national group.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I'll have a 2-die affiliation with the Church of Abadar. The way I see it is they're also a large and national group. I'm not a large national figure. Like, I've got my congregation at home from when I was a priest, and like I'm a well-respected, vested priest of the Church of Abadar, but I'm not like, you know, top tier.
Yeah,
guy.
but you're like, you know, like you are the third son of like the uncle to the current king, right?
Right.
So you are way up there in nobility, and
Right.
people are gonna be bending the knee to you, you know, and stuff. Like,
Exactly.
in fact, they'll think that you are probably the leader above Count Ronald, to the disdain of him. For
Exactly.
Some of us actually have a noble title.
Yeah, that's funny, right? Because he doesn't even have to work for his, and he probably has a. He'll probably refer
I
to
have-
greater
I am a
esteem.
nationally recognized
Well,
figure.
no, actually, that's not true though.
I
Yeah,
have
well,
your lordship.
the count. Yeah, the count though. I think it would be interesting because I think what we'll see is that depending on how people affiliate themselves, like NPCs affiliate themselves with the sort of like civil war that's brewing, they might think different people are the leader of our group.
Since we each represent one of the two sides.
Yeah. So basically, and then we were talking about how I wanted to have somebody with me. I didn't want to have a group with me because that's like, you know, that's Wreckage's thing. I wanted to do like a bodyguard, but the bodyguard rules as written don't work so great for a for a 4 life path character. So we were thinking about maybe a less loyal type guy watching my back for a relationship. Right now I had that because I wanted to talk a little bit more about what we think that should be. I have it right now as a significant relationship just because our whether or not the person is important, probably not. But like their relationship to me is significant enough that they're on this journey. So I figured I should probably pay 10 resource points for it.
Okay.
And then right now I'm just going back and forth on whether I want a traveling kit or a pet.
So I wanted to talk to you about the person that you're traveling with, and then let's all flesh this out. So the person you want to travel with is sort of like not like a bodyguard, but also not a bodyguard.
So because basically the bodyguard rules say they cost 10 resource points, and then they take 10 fewer life paths, or 2 fewer life paths.
10 fewer life paths. Shit.
Yeah, 10 fewer, no. 2 fewer life paths.
They're not even born yet.
Yes.
I think that's more meant for like a 5 life path character, for like a bodyguard, or like a 4 life path knight to have a squire. But this character, I was thinking either sort of somebody that I hired.
I think you having a page would be fucking awesome.
Okay, I'll have Podrick Payne.
Yeah, like you would have Payne. You have Podrick Payne.
Okay, I'll start thinking of I'll have a 2 life path page with me.
Yeah, I
That'll be
mean,
good.
like maybe he's like just good with a sword, right? Just fucking bump his sword
he
to
has
5.
the
But
traits: Icomancy, sexual magic.
Yeah, if you want to give me a second.
Yeah, you have it would make perfect sense that you have somebody following you around.
Okay, yeah, so sure, I'll have it be my page. It's my 10 resource point relationship.
The
Cool.
alternative is that you can, instead of buying a relationship, buy an affiliation, or buy a relationship with somebody in your what do you call it? Your current priesthood.
Yeah.
And then you just get somebody like that, or House Sertova, right? And
That's what I was thinking.
You just have a badass fucking, you have you have name from Dune, Garnick. Is it Garnick?
Ooh, that would,
Alec.
yeah.
Yeah, what's his name? The guitar playing guy.
Yeah.
Alec.
Yeah, Gurney. Yeah, like the Master at Arms. So you have your fucking, like, one of his like best guys from the castle or whatever is with you.
I think that would be good, and I think that would be also. I think I could pay 10 for that. reasonably, because there'd be like a
Yeah.
reasonably important person.
Everyone in chat, thank you so much. Yeah, it's Gurney Halleck. Thank you. I knew.
I think I like that. Maybe I'll do both and get rid of Bo. I'll have to think about that a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think I like that, and I like that it's maybe he's my, because we've talked about how I'm like the cousins to the main Sertova line.
Yeah.
But I'm going on this important expedition. So I'm
Your
wondering-
father is brother. Maybe your father is maybe was uncle or something to the current line. So right now it's a queen. I'm forgetting her name. I have to look at it. I'll look it up real quick. But there's a queen and a king. They're brother and sister. The queen's older. The king, Nikolai, is currently the Lord Regent, or King Regent. Excuse me. No, I think it's just Lord Regent. I don't remember that.
Eric.
Yeah.
The queen's name is Natalia. She is Queen Regent.
Thank you.
Her brother is set to inherit the throne after the king's moot or after she's married.
Yes.
Oh, I have a good idea. So
That's right.
what if it's, so we established that the spy is there for Natalia, right?
Yes, I am Natalia's eyes and ears.
So what if this guy is Nikolai's man? So it's like they're sending me along, and the sister's like, oh, I want to have somebody just in case something goes wrong, and then Nikolai's thinking the same thing, and he's just like, oh, take so and so along with you, safe. But really,
yes, but and here's what I'm thinking, because so the queen is very much sort of like the Cersei Lannister of the group, and the king is kind of like Tommen, right?
Okay,
Like he's
so
kind
these
of
two-
like he's not savvy enough for that kind of thing.
okay.
Unlike his queen. But what if the person who's coming with you, I like the idea, is still not a fan of the queen, and it's someone who's like working against or like for House Sertova, but like in a way that's like not benefiting the queen.
I have a proposal.
Yeah.
I actually purchased a relationship with the queen, and we're forbidden lovers.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Right.
So, and your characters don't know that, but as players, I think that's important for you all to know. But it is entirely possible that the person in your company could have hit on the queen and then was spurned by him.
Yeah, like the queen's like former, like somebody who courted the queen and just like fell in his face.
Yeah, she like shut him down. I think that would be interesting.
And then you know what, this character. So basically, I was thinking that if I go this way, this person would probably just be a knight. So that could also be an interesting counterpoint.
Well, yeah. No, you're doing this based off the affiliation though of House Sertova.
Right.
So like, I think what it would be, it's probably just a knight. It's just maybe it's like a loyal, just a loyal bannerman person,
That's
basically
kinda what I
along the
was
same level, like almost at the same level as the Count, right? As of House Swan, like just a loyal bannerman house of House Sertova sends like their fucking Brienne of Tarth,
Exactly.
fucking
Yeah.
soldier motherfucker with you guys. Right?
Perfect. Well, I guess I got to start burning up this knight character now.
That's fun.
Yeah, right. So before we play, that's one of the rules about Burning Wheel is if you introduce important characters like that, you're responsible for burning up important characters and doing them. I get to play them, while you guys get to burn them up, basically.
Eric, would it be, so I meant to ask this before,
Yeah, what's up?
for me and for knights, so would I be Father Sertova and would you be like Sir Swan, or is it like Game of Thronesy where it's like Sir and then their first name, right? Like it's Sir Jamie.
Oh, of House Lannister.
Right.
It's probably for Sir first name of House last name.
Okay.
I like that
So
more.
so
How do
I'm
we feel about
Father
it?
Demetrius of House Sertova.
Yeah.
Got it. All right, I've got a name for this guy already.
And it is
Sir Zitomir.
Sir Zitomir.
Yeah.
I feel like he probably was savagely made fun of.
Boy,
And by saying was, I currently mean still.
I don't think we'll see. We'll see when I burn him out. But I have this concept in my mind of a very like like extremely like goody knight who's just kind of an airhead. So
could he please have the trait not taken seriously by literally anyone?
We'll see. We'll see what happens in burning.
Okay,
that would be fun. I would enjoy that. All right.
I'm trying to find the list of my minor houses. So here's a couple of houses that I didn't list them all in the document, but here I have some of the other houses for Sertova.
Okay.
See if any of these names, or if you have a name, and here are some examples of some mottos or house words that we can choose from for your knight. So under House Sertova is so once again, these names are kind of basically I've taken from Game of Thrones and other various random things. So if you don't like them, that's fine. I suck with names. For all seasons is House Dane. The Son of Winter is Massey. Vengeance is ours is Malister. As Strong as Stone is Blount. Growing Strong is Vaith. Rising Storm is Stain. Strong as Steel is Magnar. The Thunder That Follows is Mundretti. Quick as Lightning is Jordain. Glory is Our Birthright is Sneed. And Strength Through Purity is Verdane.
I think I'm gonna go with House Magnar. Sir Zitomir
Strong
of
as Steel.
House Magnar.
Yeah, so you know those fuckers are serious. Yeah. Okay. So what was his name?
Here, I'll put it in chat for you.
Yeah, thanks.
Excellent. Other than, so I think I'm just gonna probably be doing that for a while, but because other than that, I'm pretty much done. Whenever you want to talk about faith questions, that's something that my character will also need to do with you guys.
Oh yeah. Let's just do that now, right? I have to look it up, but there's 3 questions that everyone has to answer when they have faith.
Well, maybe we should cover. Wreckage, are you going to have faith as well? Or are you just a knucklehead?
I'm sorry. First of all,
hard to afford it.
faith is like 5 trait points. Or faithful is 5 trait points. I am not a knucklehead, though, just because I don't have it.
I'm just asking.
It just means I can't cast miracles. I have both a skill in doctrine and in Gorham wise, so I am well versed in my own religion.
Okay.
I do not have the faithful ability to cast miracles.
Yes.
Oh, this video thing is happening again. Sorry, Eric.
No problem. Where are the 3 questions in the book? I thought they were under
91.
206.
Oh, they're not in the back in the part that says faith?
No, they're in the part in the.
Are we talking codex or gold?
This is
gold.
91.
91.
Oh, there are faith questions on 206 too.
Oh, faith. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought someone said we were doing health and steel.
No, sorry. Okay.
Not yet.
Yes. Okay. So here are the questions that you have to answer in order to calculate your faith. Whom do you trust most?
So this is House Sertova.
Okay.
The family name.
When in danger, who do you consult for aid?
The Lord of Civilization, he who builds the wall.
Ultimately, how can you best serve your allies?
By converting them all to Abadar's ways.
Cool. So for there's only one correct answer to all of these questions, and that's your god. So you got 2 out of 3 of them. So you gain 2 starting faith.
I'm not quite as pious as I might like to pretend, but
so you do know when you're doing faith, when a player purchases the faithful trait, which you have done, you may open a B3 faith attribute, which means it's a black shaded die, and starting at skill set of 3, and so basically you made it into a 5, right?
Yep. And for those who wanna, who are asking, basically this lets me pray to my god for different types of miracles that have different obstacles. And I mean, to give you an idea, like a B5 obstacle for faith, or a 5 obstacle would be a minor miracle, like, you know, when the arrow is flying towards my heart, it miraculously misses. That kind of miracle.
Yeah, it's spellcasting and Burning Wheel is pretty difficult to do something significant, and it could come at a terrible price.
Yeah, but Faith is very cool. For those interested, it's in the book. It's in the obstacles are in the back on 524.
Okay, cool. So you have Sir Zaitamir Magnar. I'm gonna give you another character sheet for you.
Yeah, I will get started finishing up him because I'm just about done. I think with Demetrius.
Is Mark of Privilege a die trait or a call-on?
It is a die trait. It gives you a 1-die affiliation with a noble house.
That's what I thought, but I was not sure.
No, I think it gives you 1 die affiliation with the nobility.
Yeah, I think
all
it's
nobility everywhere recognize. That is why Count Ronald recognizes all nobles, even if the rest of you have forgotten it.
And
yeah, when I said like your noble house is like the affiliation is like you are so and so of house so and so.
Yeah, I'm Laurental, or in the brevinized, I guess, version, Lauren of House Tall. So that makes sense to me. Okay.
Yes.
Off kilter. Privilege.
Cool.
Oh, my traits.
Numb. AP, is there anything about your character that you haven't decided on yet?
I think I'm pretty set. I just need to answer those health steal questions.
Okay, we'll answer those questions in a second. Something we need to talk about, though, making in characters, was your resources, right? Because we were concerned about just your level of resources starting out, and how the book says you shouldn't gray shade your die.
Yep. You also can't start with a stat higher than 6, so I have to bump my 7 down.
Yes.
So it's rough life, but then I get the 7 back for affinity for business.
Yeah, you do.
1 die to resources test.
Yeah, which is really funny. So yeah, you're basically able to, you know, if you ever need a sword or something like that, you don't really have to like roll for.
There are some that say I shit gold.
Leavington rich boys, yes.
Yeah.
What's funny is there's probably a good chance
I'll never need a sword.
There's a good chance that House Rotova wants to turn you.
I'll need dozens of swords to arm.
6 resources, you can buy a lot. A lot.
Yeah, exactly. So what's going to be interesting is that because your money is in a different land, it's actually like tied into your house with Brevoy. The idea of your resources being taxed makes a lot of sense, right? It's not like you lost your money. Like you're never like broke. It's hard to get it.
Load of money didn't make it this week.
Yeah, it's hard to get to physically get access to your money and stuff. So here's the cool thing about Burning Wheel if you don't know already. Burning Wheel doesn't concern itself with like, oh, you gained 200 coin and what costs 200 coin. Instead, just like everything else, it's an obstacle test to purchase things. And depending on what you're trying to purchase, the higher the obstacle. Assuming it's even available, right?
One really awesome thing about resources is, like, so for those, when you test skills in Burning Wheel, they get better. Whether or not you fail or succeed, you mark a test and you get better. For resources, it only works on success. But if you help somebody else with their resource test, you get to test as though you were testing at that difficulty. So when Arthur makes a really hard resources test,
everybody else is gonna get fucking bank off of it.
Exactly.
But throwing your money in, you also get tied to the failures.
Exactly.
True.
So if you fail,
why I'd like to mitigate the failures as early as possible by establishing a fund off of my estate.
So, Sith Master in chat mentioned how we were going to be creating a fund as soon as possible. Yes, that's going to be something I think that's going to happen very shortly when we start play. We'll see.
I think I've got all my traits lined out at this point. Let But
Okay, let's see. Go to Laurental. I'm looking at the wrong page.
you are moving my thing.
I am. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to add, here's my thing.
Off-kilter, market privilege, rapier, worldly, charismatic, numb. Oh, you know what we should do? We should talk a little bit about world traits, right? Or cultural traits, setting traits.
That would be helpful, actually. Because even though everybody else belongs to nobility, we all belong to nobility of 3 different regions.
Yeah, and what
So
does
that
that
might be
represent? Like, for example, something for, I think, Count Ronald. He can play with this if he wants to or not, but, like, I believe Rosalind has a very, like, strong, independent feel to it. Kind of like, imagine the cities of, like, Bravos, right, from Game of Thrones. It has a very strong, like, yeah, freedom, like, a little bit in its blood. But you're also a minor house of House Rogarvia, so maybe that's not the best suit for you. Maybe it's just like
Our house words are literally
proud
and free.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Freedom is the only way.
yeah.
If you wish to truly ensure the nobility's success, you need to serve the people, and
No.
they willingly come to
It's-
you.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're misinterpreting what I mean by freedom. I mean freedom for you to serve me.
Mm-hmm.
You can have all the freedom you want as long as I'm the ruler.
I mean, that's true. If you want to go somewhere else, they'll demand that you serve them.
Yeah.
Here, you are free to choose.
Okay.
Just
Yeah,
like
perception and faith also only check on success. So there's and resources are like the only 3 tests that do that. Yeah. Maybe I don't think speed, but I'll have to look that up if it comes up. But anyways, yeah, cool. So proud. Yeah, proud and free. The whole family's in kilts. A little
It's
bit.
ridiculous.
There's definitely something about that. Okay, so yeah, what kind of traits do you think would be appropriate culturally for your character AP? Knowing those are the words, knowing the
Example
background
culture
there.
traits somewhere?
What?
Were there example culture traits somewhere?
No, these are just character traits that kind of like that suit everybody, and just like in the rest of Burning Wheel, you start with these traits, but that doesn't necessarily mean you play to them. You can actually play against them because there's parts of the game where you actually, after you complete kind of like a story arc, you can submit things into what's called a trait vote, as well as like an affiliations vote and reputation vote, where you can gain or lose traits based on how you play. You do that as a group together. So if you're playing against the proud heritage of your group, then you can totally lose that, right? But this is just how people are going to assume you are seeing you, right? Being like, oh wow, you're House Swan, but you're so shy. Like that's so. Oh, I would have expected you to be bolsterous and. Anyways.
Well, we are servitors to House Rogarvia. Rogarvia?
Yeah, Rogarvia.
Rogarvia. There we go. Yeah. And they have keywords like fearsome, ruthless.
Yes.
Their house words are with sword and flame, so I feel like things like free and feared and ruthless are all very good traits.
Yes. Yeah. Feared, ruthless. So your houses, you're descendants of bannermen of this house, right? Like the people who came across the lake with the dragons with him, right? Like you guys are his blood riders, right? If you would, very very much they're
Thanks, Caldrogo.
ambitious, ruthless, imperial maybe is a good one. Like you guys are all about ruling.
Oh man, I would love instead of ruthless, imperial would be amazing. I feel like I already pulled that off, so that's just like.
What about imperious?
Oh, imperious is what I meant. Yeah, that's the word that I was looking for. There's something commanding about you. right, and commanding about the houses of Rogarvia, right? There's very much like this distinct power, even though you're a minor house, right? Like it's anyone that was a house of Rogarvia, like there's this like fierceness. That's also why there's probably like the last year or so there were probably like a couple like if there was any war or combat going on after the house disappeared, it was in those lands, right? Because it's like, well, what do we do? And it's like, well, I guess we're gonna fight and figure out who the best one is. That sort of stuff. In fact, actually, I think that is going to be canonical, that there was fighting, and the reason why the Kingsmoot's been taking so long has been because of the fighting, determining who's going to be the next Duke of that group, who's going to get invited to the Kingsmoot in order to vote for him.
Right.
Well, I'm so glad I decided to go on this expedition with a number of enemy houses. Or I certainly won't be assassinated in my sleep.
Certainly not.
It's
but
very difficult out here.
It's so easy to get killed though. You're probably more valuable alive.
I mean, to the people who care about that sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that's where we're at right now. Let's do some other traits for us other people. I'm actually really interested in the Numerians and what kind of traits we think work for Numerians.
Oh, we definitely got to give them some like super like judgmental you're a barbarian trait that she can not live up to or live up to as she chooses. But
hardened. If you don't have hardened, I think hardened makes sense.
Hardened
or hard work.
I was thinking
life is really hard. So things that represent
cold, like cold-hearted, maybe. Like
okay. So this is keep in mind this is not particularly your character. This is your group. We're literally like making stereotypes. Like that's what we're doing.
I was thinking that the general perception of like Numerias in Brevia is they're probably dumb, violent.
Yeah, violent for sure.
Simple people.
Yeah. If brutish is something, that would be one.
But I also feel like maybe there's like a bit of weird like Brevians like Numerians worship the devil or something like that. Like there's
strange.
Don't trust them because they'll eat your kids or something like that.
Brutal, strange, and something else.
Okay.
Probably
so brutal,
something. Yeah.
Brutal. Anyone else have ideas?
You know what I mean? Like we're thinking of like a barbarian tribe that lives in the like very very inhospitable climates.
Scarred, tattooed.
Here's something I'm considering. Maybe you want to play with. You mentioned that the leader of your clan was a female.
Yeah.
What if that's common?
Yeah,
so maybe like matriarchal.
Matriarchal is good. I like that.
I just want to mention real quick. Maybe in this particular instance of this Pathfinder universe, that could be true, but Pathfinder tends to be very gender not bothering.
Yeah.
There are as many male and female rulers.
I think we're going with more of like the like patriarchal bullshit. And like more like traditional gender roles.
I don't want anybody slandering.
I know, yeah. No. I'm fine with it. I mean, their adventure paths have really cool ideas behind them, and why do you think I'm using it right now for this game? It's but yeah, no, I like the idea that barbarians have this matriarchal bent to it.
I had actually been playing around with the idea that my tribe was kind of a pseudo. Okay, so Lauren is actually inspired by a character named Karen from my favorite game I've ever played called Lauren the Amazon Princess, which is this dumb, like, Dragon Age light game. It's available on Steam. Absolutely play it. And so they are obviously Amazon, so she's sort of inspired by that. So that makes sense to me. Wearing your inspirations on your sleeves, kids.
Yeah.
So okay. Zedomir. Why is that open?
Okay.
Anyway, but I like matriarchal. So for her, it's brutal, strange, and matriarchal.
Yeah, like they have like I was using strange, but like I don't know if outsider is something like that, if that's an option. But yeah, but like something like you have different customs that like different customs. And once again, this is Numeria as a whole. Your character can play exactly how you want them, but these are just things that you inherit from your culture.
So what about like Outlander or something like that?
Is Outlander an option?
It's not an option, but it's like I think it would describe kind of what we're trying to go for, in that she is from somewhere very far away and very different from where we are.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think. I think that's the same as strange.
And let's just go with strange. It's easier.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, strange, matriarchal, and brutal.
Yeah. Man, I'm a awesome character.
Yeah. No, I dig that a lot. Okay. Let's do some stuff for like Gorham, maybe. Wreckage.
Hi, everybody. So if I'm following this correctly, we're just giving traits to the concept, which then apply to our character because we are underneath that umbrella.
No, these are setting and cultural traits. So things that could, so like Isian traits versus like Rosslyn traits here. Like cultural things, even like nuances of your house maybe could fall under this, right? So, or things about Goramites might be true here, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, those, am I wrong in saying those are kind of straightforward? I guess the real question is, which words do we use? So
insecure?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, wait, I heard a challenge. Is someone threatening me? Like, what? You want to go? Like, you always have to, like, step up. And like maybe not necessarily intimidating, but like, you know what I mean? Like you have to answer challenges when called upon. I don't know so like that, right?
Like let's look at the history of House Solstend, right? Our forebear formed a religion that is now powerful and widespread. But we have to earn our place in that religion. Because of the nature of that religion, we are not owed our bishophood. Right, we are not owed being leaders of that religion.
Yeah.
Almost rather than insecure, maybe something like, man, what's the opposite of arrogant but not necessarily humble?
Confident.
Yeah,
like you step up. You step up to challenges.
We
right?
have to
like
step
you're
up.
Yeah, like you're like not proactive necessarily, but
we recognize the exact.
How about just hard work as a trait?
Yeah, like we recognize the exact opposite of Swan, right? Which is that we are not owed our station. We are not born into it. We prove
work at it. Yeah, you prove it.
Question. This is off topic. Am I just not seeing wherever the goals section of the character sheet is?
There's no goals.
There's no goals?
No,
beliefs are your goals.
Beliefs are your goals. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yep. So yeah, I think hard work goes into that. Is martial an option? Like you believe, like while you think that you people earn your station, the idea of like being in an ordered hierarchy to like basic like teamwork. You know what I mean? Like the idea of a structured well-structured organization gives you strength. Does that make sense? Like something like that. Maybe I don't know.
I've decided on a motto for House Solstend.
Okay.
With a firm hand.
Wow, you definitely, Jesus, your house gets made fun of all the time in whorehouses, for sure. Like, all the whorehouses in your particular district probably have that printed over the door. Several times a night, someone will give a toast with those words.
Obedient, maybe? Help me out. What do you think?
Well, not obedience, but I don't know if there's... Because I know, especially in Burning Wheel, the traits that sort of land on this are, they're mechanical. but like the whole house is pious, devout. Like,
oh yeah,
they're all religious. So we very much believe in our religion in this house.
Yeah, so hard work, proud, and something about religious and faithfulness, right?
Right. We can't have faithful, obviously, because that's a specific trait that does a thing. But if there's
is there spiritual? I'm looking for see if there's a spiritual one.
Yeah, I'm looking for like a pious maybe or something. The same sort of word that doesn't also come with you get magic powers. Well, we know that is what we want, so we
just make up our own, right?
That's a possibility.
In the meantime, yeah, just write I guess in the meantime just write pious in the meantime until we figure out what it is.
Okay.
I'll keep looking for it.
Hard work pays off.
Yes. So I definitely think
and the other one that you applied was proud, right?
Yeah, but it might actually be there might be a better way of looking at that. Strong-willed.
Yeah, strong-willed. That is way better.
Strong-willed, hard work, and some kind of like pious kind of thing, right? Like you do the work.
I will look for the appropriate I don't get magic powers, but I am pious trait.
Excellent. And in the meantime, I think some things for House Rtova, predatory is definitely one of them, or like opportunistic would be if that's an option. Let's see. No. Obedient is one maybe for Dr. Wreckage. For your no, maybe not.
That comes with some other connotations.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So
like I'll be shocked if pious isn't in here.
I'm gonna see if cunning is an option for Rtova, because cunning would actually make more sense.
Yeah, I'm not seeing pious, so shocked, first of all.
Nope. Cunning and opportunistic aren't here, but I think predatory makes sense, because you're like fucking ruthless. Think of things like, how would you describe the Lannisters, right? Like ambitious, predatory,
incestuous.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think ambitious, predatory, and something else for Rtova.
Dangerous.
Cunning, backstabbing.
I have that as predatory, like that.
Yeah, I guess that's
predatory.
Maybe it's just
these are
those
all
two.
character traits, right?
Is there like a physical trait that they maybe all share? Like do they all have
also
like really noses or something?
Yeah, maybe something physical, like black hair or something.
Yeah, let's do black hair, because that ties in
or
with
like beards. Do they all have beards?
Well, so something I was thinking about that could be funny is I have the trait tonsured, which is like in a traditional like Christian setting. That's like the thing that the monks do, where they like shave the inside of their head. I was thinking that monks of Abadar, or like members of the Church of Abadar, might just be bald, but like a lot of them grow beards, and I think it'd be but that Demetrius can't grow one for whatever reason. Like his beard just looks awful, so he goes clean shaven. So I think it'd be really funny if
so to play against bearded. Yeah, to play against bearded. Okay.
Right. So I think it'd be funny if everyone in his house also had beards, and it was like really common for every Rtova to have a beard. Maybe even most of their bannermen, but like I just can't.
Oh, I love that. Awesome. Cool. Were there any? So that means we got all our traits for everybody too, right?
Oh wait, I had predatory, bearded, and what was the third one?
Ambitious.
Ambitious. Cool. Oh, and that fits perfectly because I have ambition-wise.
Well, I think those are all of our cultural traits or whatever. I don't think we've discussed everybody's.
No, those are just in addition to the traits that you.
Yeah.
Those are just bonus traits you get for like your cultural background.
Yep. Which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah. As Alex says in chat, cultural traits can be really prejudiced. Yeah, it's very much one of those things where it's stereotypical. The idea is that, you know, in some ways you reflect the culture that you're born in, just how you change the culture that you live in. It's just that give and take, and this is sort of just how it is for right now for your guys culturally, where we are in the setting in the world, which makes sense because we're pretty rough. Like we're pretty rough individuals. Like this place is not coddled in many ways. This is, you guys are all kind of descendants of barbarians, right? Like raiders and things like that. It's, you know,
and it can be fun to play against them because that just like adds like one more thing. So like anytime I meet a NPC, they can just go, "Oh, you're a Sertova. Well, where's your beard?"
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you're gonna see that. Yep. And in the meantime, was there anything else we need to go over? What about other people's relationships and things like that before we do health and steel? Because otherwise, we might. I mean, if we all have our relationships and everything done, the last things to do would be those attributes, right? Beliefs, instincts, and goals, right? Those would be the other ones, right?
Do you want to get? Well, we don't have goals proper. But...
Oh yeah, beliefs and instincts. But we do that after we do our attributes.
Sure.
All right.
Do we want to do those then?
Yeah, I think we're ready to do our attributes.
Sweet.
Okay, so this is pretty easy. Let me see where it is in the old book, right?
It's pretty early. Lower.
Is it after stats?
91 for the health and steel.
Yes. Okay. Yep. Here we go. Okay. So, here's how you start answering the health questions. So your starting health is an average of will and fort. You round down. Health may be modified by the player by answering the following questions. Does the character live in squalor and filth? Subtract 1 die from the starting health. Is your character frail or sickly? You subtract 1. Was your character severely wounded in the past? Subtract 1. Has the character been tortured or enslaved? Subtract 1. Are you a dwarf, elf, or orc? No, skip that one. Is the character athletic and active? Add 1. Does the character live in a really clean and happy place, like the hills in The Sound of Music? Add 1.
Totally. I don't know that any of our characters get that one.
Yeah.
I have a very low health.
Yeah, I have health 3.
Yeah, I do as well.
Health 5.
I have health 5.5.
So 5.
Yeah.
Because you round down.
I think so.
Yes, you round down. You round down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so then steel?
Yep, steel. Everyone's base starting steel is 3. Then we should answer these questions regarding their character's history. Each question can raise or lower steel. All right. Also 5 yes answers can be used to buy a gray shade of steel.
Okay.
And we all know what shading is. Wreckage, do you know what shading is?
Yeah, gray is when on the dice that we roll, you get 1 lower as a success. It's like D6.
3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, cool. Just making sure, because I know that you're learning and just along with us. Anyways, has the character taken a conscript, soldier, bandit, squire, or knight type life path? If so, add 1 to steel. Has the character ever been severely wounded? If the player was a soldier, knight, bandit, etc., raise steel by 1. If he was wounded but not a soldier, lower steel by 1. Has the character ever murdered or killed with his own hand? If he has done so more than once, raise steel by 1. Once again, this is your character. In fact, I don't want to read all these questions. I realize some of these questions are kind of interesting for me to know. What's the answer to that question for everybody? I want to know the answer to that question.
I have killed a lot of people. Because I was a poisoner, so yeah.
Okay.
I have killed a lot
the
of people.
with your own hand part, it depends on how you take it. So like a poisoner, if they like don't think of it as that, maybe they don't. But like,
I think killing with poison is killing with your own hand.
Okay.
Like,
she definitely takes direct responsibility for what she has done.
The person who is not killing with their direct hand is the person ordering the poisoner to kill someone. That person isn't directly killing someone.
Exactly.
But the poisoner, regardless of not being in the room at the time, is still...
You're holding like a fatal dose of something, and you're pouring. Like I feel like to consciously put it in a cup constitutes that steal. Right? Like that's.
Let me just say this: my meat pies are to die for.
Ha. Get out. Get thee into the sea.
Has the character been tortured, enslaved, or beaten terribly over time? If yes, and his will is 5 or higher, raise steal by 1. If yes, and the will is 3 or lower, reduce steal by 1. And if the will is 4, there is no change.
I have not been tortured.
Yeah.
No change.
Has the character led a sheltered life, free from violence and pain? Reduce steal by 1. Yeah, okay. You guys are all just fucking hardcore motherfuckers, aren't you?
I don't know about that.
I mean, surely some among us have led a sheltered life free from violence and pain.
I've
been nearly beaten to death by a slave master.
You're a slave. Obviously not. I'm asking for our 2 nobles who are nobles and then went to like church and school and stuff.
Well, but that's the thing is like it's a different kind of like hardship. Like the Sertova family are just not nice people. Like,
sure.
They're just horrible to each other.
Yeah, but if I was to slice the guy's neck,
but that's not. I think for purposes of this thing, you did live a sheltered life free from violence and pain. You didn't have to steal to survive, right? You lived in a castle.
I mean, I would say
I got kicked out of the castle.
Sure, but like I would say that the thing that would qualify you is like actual abuse. If your father was abusive or your family was abusive, then you could say that you have not lived a sheltered life. Yeah. But just because they're ruthless doesn't mean you have actually felt the brunt of violence.
Here's additional questions, though, and this might actually help straighten things out. Has the character been raised in a competitive but non-violent culture of sports, debate, strategy games, courting? Raise steal by 1.
Yeah, that's where it is then. Okay.
Yeah. Has the character given birth to a child? If so, raise steal by 1.
Okay, can we talk about this for a second? Because I've been kicking this around for a while as to whether or not my character had a child. Is it possible to say yes and I just don't know what happened to it?
Absolutely.
I mean, you were a harem slave, so
that wouldn't surprise me.
They took him from you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know where she is. Okay.
Do you even know the sex of the baby?
I think I knew it was a girl.
I mean, presumably she was there for the birth. So
I feel like that's accurate. But there are circumstances where you're like passed out.
That's fair.
I have the numb trait. I don't feel superficial wounds, so.
Yeah, that's insanely good. Anyways.
Because I've been beaten so much.
Yeah.
Anyway, please continue.
If the character's perception is exponent 6 or higher, raise steal by 1.
Oh, I have that.
Yeah, I like how you don't have a relationship with your daughter. It's sad.
I don't. I could have a relation. Like I could have spent that 1 extra point with a relationship with a person I don't know exists.
And did I already say this one? If the character is gifted or faithful, raise.
Oh man, I have way higher steal than I thought. Oh man.
Well, yeah, like you grew up with the Lannisters, and you're like religious and like hardy. If your will stat is 5 or higher, raise steal by 1. If the will exponent is 7 or higher, raise steal by 2. And then, last but not least, if the character's fort is exponent 6 or higher, raise steal by 1.
What is my fort? Nope.
All right. Your hesitation is 10 minus your will. This is important for steal tests and combat.
It should have automatically calculated, right?
Yeah, I think it automatically calculates it.
It automatically fills.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then we've done our gear. The last thing to do would be beliefs and stuff, and then I think we're probably just going to call it for today of doing all of this.
Sounds good.
Set up.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Let's do the big thing now.
Yeah, let's do the bigs. Bits, I guess. Belief, instincts, traits, but we kind of already did traits a little bit. So let's just go over what our beliefs are going to be. And then what I'll do is, then we'll call it there, and then we'll start with our first session next week.
Okay.
So, who wants to go first with their beliefs, instincts, and...
Not me, because I have no concept for what these are supposed to look like.
I'll do it.
So, okay, go for it.
Information, not steel, rules this world. We must find a reliable runner who knows the territory in order to establish safe lines of communication with my queen and my agents. Belief number 2. My time as a poisoner has taught me that no matter who you are or what you are, someone wants you dead. I shall build a robust spy network to keep this fledgling nation from falling to blades in the dark, starting by securing a hideout for my opponents.
Blades in the dark.
I seriously hope this campaign doesn't turn into Blades in the Dark.
It's gonna. I'm gonna do it. Belief number 3. Swan is an insufferable ass, but I need him on my side. He and I will work to pacify the bandits so we can start on the real job.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
My instincts are, I will drop everything to read correspondence from my lover or the queen. You all know they're the same person. Your character. Never let your spies sit idle. I shall stay in constant communication with my agents. Did we lose someone? What just happened?
I think that was you. You
am
slowed
I back?
down for a second. Yeah, you're back. Can you repeat your second instinct?
Never let your spies sit idle. I stay in constant communication with them, and am always aware of their movements and actions.
So for quick recollection, you are part of the Queen's spy network, right?
I am the leader of the Queen's spy network in this area.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
And we're very small because the Queen doesn't have that many spies.
In here, yeah. Well, they're mostly all in court.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instinct number 3. I write correspondence with the Queen, my love, and my agents late into the night, often at the cost of sleep, which is an effort to try and get read and write tests.
Yes.
But also could give me fate because I could just stay up too late.
Yeah, and be tired. Useless.
Yeah, totally. Okay. No, I love that. That's...
And then do you want me to do traits while I'm at it?
Yeah, just list all your traits that you have.
My traits are off-kilter, worldly, brutal, strange, matriarchal, mark of privilege, charismatic, rapier wit, and numb.
Yeah, you're like you're kind of like Daenerys Targaryen a little bit.
Yeah,
right? like this. Yeah, only you have a little bit more of like a noble intrigue.
I hope I'm more competent than Daenerys Targaryen because she's kind of a ditz.
Yeah, I like it. I like that you have this sort of like outsider, but like you understand the game better than most. I love that. That's good. Wait.
Scythemaster is asking if
your second instinct, right? Never let your spies sit idle.
Yeah, never let my spies sit idle is sort of a way for me to always be aware of where they are. And part of that is out of courtesy to Eric and the rest of the party and the audience, because I could make rolls constantly trying to figure out what the fuck my spies are doing. But it's easier if my character just sort of knows, and I don't want to fuck with that.
It basically means that, like, whenever you want to get, like, a report of your spies, right? Like, they're doing things, and you've assigned them to whatever.
Yeah,
right?
My spies are never going to be, like, sitting around playing cards.
Yeah, right. So, basically, if you ever needed to get information, you could be like, and your task, if your intent was to like get a read on certain something, then you could use that instinct to say like, well, my spies were there or something like that, and I'm listening to their correspondence, and that could be your action. To understand.
My action would be like, well, I know for a fact based on my spy information that Swan has a whatever brother something.
Yeah.
Next with a goat. Something ridiculous.
Okay.
I'm the worst human being alive. It's great.
Yeah. All right. What about Father Demetrius's beliefs?
Alrighty. So, My first belief is my faith idiom. So basically, when you take the faithful trait, you have to have a belief at all times. One of your 3 beliefs must be basically your driving force of your faith in belief form. So that is only the strong wall shelters humanity from the storm. And the way I see that is that's like it's like a piece of a line of like it's a line of scripture just like pulled from a passage or like a hymn or something. And to Father Demetrius, that like represents and like sums up his belief that like only bolstering civilization can keep us alive during this coming apocalypse. My second belief is the first step to bringing civilization to this land is learning about it. I will gather actionable intel for us to use. So basically talk to the peasants, figure out who exactly wants us to be coming in here and bringing civilization and who doesn't want us to come in here and bring civilization, picking out who to try to and Count Swan understands the lessons of Abadar, even if he refuses to see it. I will get him to admit that Abadar is the source from which all commercial success springs. So yeah, and then instincts, I've got always have my doctoring supplies on me. Always quote scripture I think is relevant to the conversation, and always assume signs of the apocalypse.
Oh my god! Oh shit, that's a really good instinct. I like that one. We're gonna have fun with that.
Oh, trait. Should we do traits too? Yeah.
Yeah.
So my traits are your lordship, predatory, bearded, ambitious, mark of privilege, tonsured, which again is like me being a bald, identifiable monk, vested, which is that I'm like I've got the vestments of an official priest, and then faithful and incomprehensible diagnosis, which is a call on for lying about medical stuff.
Okay, that's hilarious. That's like technobabble if you're like a starship engineer.
Like too much air in a balloon.
It's like you know, like basically the way I'm gonna use that trait is like if somebody's like ever
the body's like a series of tubes.
Right, or like oh well, why couldn't you like fix me? Like why did you fail your surgery test? Oh well, you know, it was a very hard. He's got inverted, spleen, and just
blood flows the wrong way through the body.
It's the weirdest thing, yeah. Okay.
I've never seen a condition like this before.
Awesome. AP? You're muted, I think.
Oh,
no,
I'm not muted. I'm just preparing myself. My time is now. The political philosophies and economic theories I propose will be put into action, turning bandits into men of use. I suspect Lauren to be an agent of my enemies. Turn her to my service for twice the price. Rule is my birthright, heritage, and duty. Always.
God damn.
I am addressed properly. When resting, convince others to see to my needs. Never allow a physical conflict to begin without talk of peace. There are some who say that I am feared, imperious and free, self-satisfied, your eminence, mark of privilege. Men note my rapier wit and affinity for business.
God, that's good. Awesome.
So I am so excited for my character to talk to your character.
I know it's gonna be so good.
Yeah.
So now let's help Wreckage here with his beliefs and instincts.
I'm glad you phrased it that way because in the 4 days since I have joined the group, this has not been touched upon at all. So we've just listed everybody's things, and what I gather is that beliefs and instincts are both multiple sentences long. But
yes,
what's the difference? What are they supposed to look like, especially for the folks at home who don't know anything about burning wheels?
So cool. So beliefs are supposed to be the major guiding principles to your character. They're supposed to be actionable things, and if they're not, they're supposed to be sort of like you're supposed to only have maybe like one that's maybe like a faithful or like a lighthouse belief that guides you. Like, you know, it's like your number one moral thing, right? It makes sense if you're religious or, you know, faithful or extremely ambitious. Like there's not, like there's a one sentence catchphrase for you. Like your house's words make a good one for that, right? But anyways, so I have some guiding principles for this campaign in particular to help you write beliefs. Then the ones that I shared were you write a belief about one of the brevish traditions you will take care to see preserved, or write a belief about one of the brevish traditions that you seek to be changed, or you seek to change.
So one of our beliefs should revolve around cultural norms.
Yeah, this is the first one. Basically, you know, you going into a new country, what baggage are you bringing with you that's important to you?
All right. Okay.
You know, either what thing do you want? Yeah, exactly, right? Like, what is one of the traditions or baggages that you either want to keep and make sure it, you know, this system or this institution or this tradition is kept, or which one are you making sure that you change? Right?
Gotcha. Okay.
Number 2, write a belief about something tangible that you want to do in the Stolen Lands. This could be like recover a lost sword of Gorham, defeat, you know, find out the Bandit King and kill him, or like find where elves live, right? Something like that, like an actionable thing you want to accomplish in the Stolen Lands. And once again, you have a chance to kind of like include things that are currently not talked about as things into the game. Like, for example, like I just said, discover the lost sword of the Sword Saint somebody. All of a sudden now Sword Saint somebody is a person, and he has a lost sword in the Stolen Lands, right? Like, you just made that up. And if we all buy into it, then it's a thing, and it happens now. And now, like, you want to do something like that. And the third and final belief that I have here as like a guiding thing would be write a belief about your relationship with your comrades or a specific comrade, or write a belief how the strength of your sword will change the world.
Okay. Well, I've got a belief right out of the gate. Honestly, I could probably write a belief about each member of the party at this point. But if only one of the beliefs should be about a member of the party, then Michael, can you remind me what your character's name is?
Lauren Tall, but she goes by Lauren around people that don't like Numerians.
All right. So my belief is Lauren is, apart from me, the strongest member of the party.
Yes!
And it is disgraceful that she must hold herself below station of the others. This should be changed.
I like it.
Nice.
I like it. This is going to be fun, guys.
I know. Like, this is
We're gonna
perfect.
kill
This
each
is
other.
exactly what I wanted when I would, like, pitch this game to you guys, being like... It's because, like, this is the right system to encourage this sort of, like, political game.
I'm surprised this was I've never played the Kingmaker module. I'm surprised it even worked in Pathfinder.
Yeah, right. It takes a little bit of effort. AP, you can ask AP about that later, how he got it to work for D&D 5th edition, and its problems and pitfalls from that versus doing this way. Oh, cool. The Jets are
Eric
out.
desperately attempting to find a way to get persuasion as a what is it? Proficiency skill?
Yeah. Like, I'm the diplomat in that game, and I have no way to persuade. I have to just use my charisma. And, like, even though I've been, like, the diplomat for a while now, writing correspondence and speeches and things, like, I don't have persuade.
It's in 5th ed, right?
Oh, God.
I have lying. I have deceive or whatever. But I don't want to do that. I realized my character is way more honest than I had him set up to be. But anyways,
yeah, that is a problem you run into with really granular games, but
yeah. So these are the three. So, like, you know, there's three beliefs in Burning Wheel are what take the game from being medieval simulator into fiction, into the epic narrative story. Right beliefs are also literally mechanical flags that you tell me to the GM. That's the thing that I, as the GM, will look for the most on your character sheet. It's one of the only things I'll be looking at your character sheet, because I don't have time to review and audit everyone's character sheets, right? The one thing that I want to be doing there, though, is I will create situations that challenge your beliefs, hopefully in ways that situations arise that cause conflict between you guys, or like make difficult choices, being like, hey, like the point of Burning Wheel is like, oh, hey, you believe that? How far are you willing to go for that? Do you believe it when X happens? Do you believe it when Y happens? Right? Like that kind of stuff. Or, you know, what if your belief gives you no good answer and you have to choose between crappy situations, right?
So now, so one of them has to be about a cultural thing that I want to preserve or change.
Yeah.
I mean, so for that one, I will say that the tenets of enlightened Goremism are perfect for this land. The mistakes of unearned title, station, and power in society should be left behind.
That is the start of a very, very good belief. What I would do in order for you to earn Artha from that, though, add one more sentence to that and say starting with blank. And come up with, like, break down that goal into one smaller thing.
Oh, so starting with such and such.
Yeah.
Well,
idea. You could tie this into your first belief and make it so that you need to bring down the current station of everybody else so that you can build it back up from the top, or vice versa.
Well, starting with this party, yeah. Like, there's a lot of talk about what station Swan will have, what station father crap name of your character that I definitely remember. The talk about stations that people have just because of their house or their money, like that is obviously not.
Keep in mind, that means what you're doing there is dangerous talk, like trademark, like capital D, capital T, like that's scary.
It is enlightened Goremism. You don't believe that houses should maintain their station just because they're born noble.
You're literally calling for the upheaval of modern society.
Yeah, like, you know, like that's what you're okay. You know that's what you're doing, right? Okay, that's perfect. I think that makes challenging it really easy, right? That's good, and you're supposed to like strive for that kind of stuff in the game if that's what you want. And yeah, like that's good. Like you'll see that challenged.
Can you remind me what the second belief was supposed to be?
Yeah, no problem. So the second belief was supposed to be write a belief about something tangible that you want to do in the Stolen Lands.
Okay.
That was the examples I gave for that was like recover the sword, discover an elf thing, restore a temple to Gorham in there, you know, like something like that, right? Like make up something that's out in the world that you're interested in doing. It could even be like bring enlightened Goremism to the bandits or something like that, right? Like it could be more personal.
Are they bandits or barbarians in the Stolen Lands?
A little of both. Mostly bandits.
Little column A, little column
B. But,
B.
like, where do you draw the line between a bandit and a barbarian?
I mean, let's get philosophical.
Right.
No.
Just to be clear, at no point was there a point where the Stolen Lands were, like, owned by somebody, or was it always just kind of like the wild wilderness where, like...
No, they used
were they
to be
stolen
owned.
to get that name?
They were
Right.
So the reason why they're called the Stolen Lands is because at one point they were originally parts of the River Kingdoms, and then they were also at other points originally part of Rossland. It just doesn't seem like numerous over the millennia, people have tried to keep the Stolen Lands, but they never could quite keep a hold on it.
So, like, there'd still be, like, farmers and stuff. They just, like, don't really know who is in charge of them.
No. The Stolen Lands are more wild than that. The Stolen Lands are primarily now places for hunters and trappers and bandits.
Cool.
It's sort of like the Wild West. Like, it's a place where civilization has not got into it yet.
Okay. Got it.
So... here's my first draft of my second belief, then. The people of this land surely worship Gorham, but likely the old false teachings. I will teach them the truth of it by my iron and build a temple of enlightened Goremism in this land.
Ooh.
More dangerous talk.
Okay.
Like,
Okay. That makes me want to change a little. Okay, yeah, I see that. So the bandits worship Gorham.
That's my belief is the people of this land surely worship Gorham because they are. It is an assumption.
Okay.
But likely the false old teachings. I will teach them the truth of it by iron, and build a temple of enlightened Gorhamism in this land.
You guys hear that?
Yeah. What is that?
That's a fucking fighter jet outside my house. Sorry.
They're coming for you.
Yeah. It's Seafair in Seattle, so there's just fighter jets. And sorry, but I think we have a little bit of time, so before they come back. So, that's a good belief. So yeah, they worship Gorham, but they probably aren't enlightened, right?
So it's a battle between whether you can convert them to your sect or I can just convert them to Abadar.
Well, I did say in the belief that I will teach them the truth of it by iron. So there isn't going to be much talking from me.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's two different...
They'll be free to make their own decision, and of course they're going to choose a bit of warm coin rather than the cold words of your gods.
Abadar brings coin to all of us. Don't you see? Without the Lord of Commerce.
I haven't mentioned it, but I'm pretty sure Ronald is a Pharasma worshiper, just to bring it all around. Because Pharasma is the god of the common people, and the most popular Pathfinder deity.
Yes.
Pharasma.
Yes.
All men die. There's no word about serving, but all men definitely die at some point.
Pharasma's the god of birthing and death, and sort
prophecy
of just,
and midwifery.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting.
It would make sense that someone of such a lesser house would worship the deity of a peasant.
Yep, totally down for that.
I just find it funny.
I'd be surprised if you were able to recruit anyone into your cause with such harsh words.
So, since I didn't
tell that to all of the peasants you passed, I'm surprised you haven't been knifed in the dark.
By blades in the dark, perhaps?
Oh, please.
Poisoners in the dark, I think.
At this point, I should just come out and publicly say something like, I'll never play Blades in the Dark, just so we can make a thing of the fact that I still haven't.
Oh, no. Please don't.
I have to fix that for you.
Oh, God, now it sounds... We're going to take you out, boy. We're gonna
I'll make a man out of
you. So, because I did end up taking Militant Order, I actually have an extra belief.
Yes.
Now, you don't have guiding principles for a fourth belief.
The trait.
The trait does, yes. And
yeah,
this is sworn to something, right?
It's sworn to the order.
Yeah.
And the trait said, like, you have an extra vow, but its examples were like poverty, chastity. It didn't have like a full sentence. So I'm interested to see what that's actually, or if there's thoughts on what that's supposed to look like.
A knight of a holy military order may add an additional belief dedicated to this particular order. Poverty, chastity, protection, pilgrims. Obviously, your order would be enlightened Gorhamism. So, make it... I would make it something similar to that.
It's like something you do as, like, that, like, marks your pious, like, your devotion, you know? So it's like, it'd be like, oh, like, I'm devoted to my God, so I will remain chaste.
Yeah.
Right.
But obviously, that's not you because
what I would recommend is do something that take a page out of Sam's playbook here, and come up with a passage about enlightened Gorhamism, and make that sort of like your guiding principle for that belief, right?
All right, well, why don't we come back to that one?
Make it dogmatic. Make it a principle that like requires you to do something.
I agree completely, but that one requires a bit of creative writing, a bit of composure.
Sure.
Why don't we hop over to instincts for now?
Yeah,
and
totally.
Tell me about how the structure of instincts works.
Cool. So instincts behave. I think it was Alex in chat who had a really good example of how to build an instinct. But they kind of play off like a programming line, like if X then Y. Like, you know, like they're like a triggering macro, basically of mechanics.
Like always and never.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So this is what you would say. this is an easy way to remember how to write one, and you can obviously change it once you understand the principles behind what we're doing here. But like, in this situation, if X, then do Y.
A good one for you would be like always carry a blade, and then Eric could never pull something on you where your character didn't have a weapon.
Yeah. Then it could be like every night sleep with a blade under your pillow. Right?
Yeah, so the two ways to think about it is you can have an instinct that protects you and an instincts that get you Artha. So like always have a blade on me. Unless you fall into the water and like you're sinking because you've got a bunch of metal, chances are that's not going to get you in trouble.
Okay.
But it keeps you safe from GM.
So keep in mind with this. So instincts can give you beneficial things mechanically, such as when you're playing an instinct and it's like always run at the first sign of trouble, right? It's like, well, fucking, you get ambushed by bandits, right? Like you fail an observation roll and you're like, bye, and like you run out and you're fine, right? Obviously that wouldn't really work for your character, but just an example, right? But that example also plays into another part though about instincts that's important. When you play an instinct that gets your character in trouble or a difficult or awkward situation, you can earn fate points for that. Fate points let you open end your dice. It's good. It makes sixes become strong. So yeah, playing instincts is good. So like if you always sleep with a knife under your pillow, or like you're always cautious of peasants, it's like that's probably good. But when peasants try to be nice to you, it's a double-edged sword, right?
All right, so I'm working off of the always never example here. Let me know if this is a good instinct, because what I've written here might be too much of a belief, and it'd be too much in that. All right, so here's my attempt at an instinct then. Never presume someone who appears strong is strong, or is weak who appears weak. Always work to perceive the truth in another person.
Sounds like either a belief or a couple instincts rolled into one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's boil that down.
Never judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, never judge a book. More like I mean, there's a couple ways you can put it, but like
never underestimate my enemy, maybe.
Well, it's not even like, yeah, but it's also about never overestimate this person, never do that. Like it's
something about never, like never assume somebody's better than you based on their title or something like that. Like
assuming
like
makes
never,
an ass.
That's ridiculous.
It goes both ways, right?
Of course they're better.
Because
Yeah.
the heart of the instinct is also like, and this person who's weak may not be weak.
Yes!
This person strong may not be strong.
Sith Master has the best example to help guide us here. Instincts are lightning fast reflexes. If it involves thought, it's a belief.
Okay. So is never judge a book by its cover then an acceptable instinct for that?
Yeah.
Or is that too much thought?
No. Yeah, it's just you're not taking things at face value.
All right. Acceptable.
Never assume appearances mean power by Axerman. Yeah, that's a good one.
That is also a more on message. It's more on fleek.
Yeah. In fact, if I were you, I would consider writing all of your instincts in terms of like passages by Gorham, if you wanted to.
Oh man. Well, that
like
would take.
like you're right. Never assume appearances mean power. Almost sounds like a Gorhamite saying. Right?
Oh, yeah, we could go back and actually like Solston 213.
Yeah.
But for now we should keep it. It would take way too long.
I know. We don't have to do that right now, but I'm just like,
that's a good idea.
Between sessions, though, that might be interesting. Also, it flavors your character because like your character is very religious.
I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of making up random quotes from religious tests that don't exist.
Well, that's because you just want to test doctrine.
Well, that also.
But yeah, no, I like that. Okay, so let's come up with your other instincts here, Wreckage. So yeah, so your first instinct, never judge a book by its cover, or never, what was it? Never assume appearances indicate strength.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Oh God.
Never assume the emperor's wearing clothes, kind of thing.
Yeah. Everything else I come up with sort of sounds too much like a belief. Instinct is if it requires it's a reflex based thing. So if it requires thought, it's a belief.
Might I give you a suggestion for
Sure, yeah, certainly.
Instinct? Always instinct is good for practicing training a skill. So for instance, the instinct always ensure when resting, convince others to see to my needs is practicing persuasion. Whenever we aren't actively doing something, over time, that will become very important, and Eric will ask you to demonstrate that you are doing such things. And so if you have an instinct that embodies something you do normally, you might say, always practice the word, or always preach the word of enlightened Goranism to those around me, which would be a practice for your doctrine, but would also thematically match with your nonstop verbal on
like
how your noble progenitor created this.
Like you would be that guy, you know, imagine it's night, you guys have set up camp, and your sword's like dug into the ground, and you have like your whetstone sharpening it and like just telling stories about it next to the campfire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, this reminds me of the tale of when Gorum fought, you know, the dragon and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like, if you know, think of things like your character could do, and like mechanically that could give you when instincts get triggered. So that's why you always have to say like always blank when, or like when or if in this situation.
Right.
Given this context, I will do this, or given this context, I will never do this other thing, right? Like, but when in that context, you get to basically make a free test if it's necessary, or if it's something like here's an example that I had for my character. You can also use instincts to in my Burning Wheel game. You can use instincts to help gun for traits if you want a particular trait.
Okay.
Like for me, what I did for my elf was like I was like always take time to make my appearance better, and I got the well-dressed trait later on because I spent time for that. Right?
Okay.
Like, you know, or you can do that kind of stuff, or like take time to smell the roses or something, you know, and it's like and write about what it's like, and be like, oh man, that I'm practicing poetry or something like that, or I'm learning romance, or like, you know, always hit on the ladies.
I see what you're saying.
So you could if there's some maybe peruse if you want traits, like particularly, you know how not all traits are created equal. Some traits cost like more points than others, and some traits give you some mechanical benefits like call on traits and die traits. You can gun for those traits by the way you roleplay, and if you give you instincts that help you guide you to that roleplay.
Right, gun for traits.
That's an option. Or you can gun for practicing skills.
Okay.
Like what AP's doing is in your downtime try to persuade other people to do the work that must be done in camp, so he doesn't have to do it.
Okay.
Well, that might be true, but that's not the way I see it. It needs to be done, and someone of my noble rank isn't obligated to do such things. I am a supervisor.
Yeah, you're a foreman.
Of course.
Yeah. Do you have always ask, do you have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior Gorum?
Do you have a moment to talk about? So yeah, I think I would like to gun for a faith thing and to gun for a skill thing here. And the faith thing is less about converting others, though, which I guess is sort of the example that was put into. So something like always save time to meditate on the scriptures, that sort of thing. Is that the sort of thing that would work? Something similar.
Oh yeah, no, take time. No, that would be like basically practicing either doctrine or theology or something. I don't know the exact skill, but yeah, like basically doing or even reading, right? Like practicing something like that. So in your downtime, meditate and review the sacred texts of enlightened Gorumism. Is that what you want?
Always take time to meditate on the word of Gorum.
Yeah. That's perfect.
And the other thing that I would like to do is this one's got a win clause. When others falter, be prepared to take charge.
That sounds like a good instinct, but I don't know how that gets triggered.
It almost sounds like a belief.
Yeah. Here's something that you can say, like always look to help those who are struggling, and so in a similar way. But basically, that just means that if you wanted to, you can basically, if you're around, you can always throw in help. Try to help people who are doing tests.
When others fail at X, step in is an example.
Yeah.
That would work.
Yeah, because then that's how you... Because there's a mechanic in Burning Wheel called Let It Ride, where you can't test the same thing over and over again. So, for example, if there's a rope dangling from a ceiling and you want to climb that rope, and you fail that climb that rope check, you can't just be like, okay, I'm going to try again. In Burning Wheel, you just can't do it. You have to change the circumstances. What's at stake? You're muted, Michael.
You may have been muted for a while.
I have been muted for a while.
Yeah.
How murder hobo-y do you want your character to get?
Say it again?
How murder hobo-y do you want your character to get? Because if your response was whenever negotiations fail, turn to violence, that'd be a really good instinct. Just saying.
Well, I love that instinct. The problem is that, honestly, my character's like, why are you even bothering with the negotiation? Like, my character's like, look,
no. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, so, like, that instinct that you've just written presumes that I'm okay with the first attempt at negotiation. And my character is coming in with, like, look, I know you want to do that, but it's going to fail. I know it's going to fail.
Yeah.
Make your instinct, like...
Here's... Alex brought up this instinct that I want to share because I love it. Others falter, I always take charge. Basically, you do the test instead because you just think you have to do it.
Oh, that's gonna fuck us. Oh well.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me a little bit more about why this one's so great. Because the wording is not so different from other things that I've seen, and you guys have all responded to it with like, "Oh man, that's perfect."
That's because. Mechanically, basically, I'm trying to see what this would mechanically look like in play and the situations that cause this to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You could when someone wants to go do a test, being like, "I'm gonna go chop some firewood so we don't die in the cold," right?
Yeah.
And do like a fire building test. What you can be like is, in play, what you could do then, Wreckage, is. You can ask me to be like, hey, I'm gonna call on my instinct here and say that others are faltering, and I'm gonna take charge. And actually, I take the axe before he does, and go out and start finding wood like immediately. Because you don't trust the other guy to do it, and you just do it because you're instinct.
That is slightly off. So my original version
that might be off keel what you actually wanted to do.
Well, so let me just mention what my original thought was, and we can do either of them maybe. My original thought was in role-playing games, there's a lot of maybe we shouldn't do this or maybe we should do X.
Yeah.
And like the idea was when other people like hesitate, when they falter, I will take charge and say like, okay, this discussion is over because I'm going to do the thing. I'm going to do A. Like we're all talking about A, B, or C. And it's like, well,
that would be like always rush into action or something like that.
Yeah,
always rush into action when right. And basically, you can play the trait being like when people are dilly-dallying, well, I'm going to always rush into action, so I'm just going to do my test. And everyone's going to be like, no! And then you're going to do it, and it'd be awesome.
Yeah, so maybe...
And vice versa when you play against your trait, right? Your instinct.
So a slight alteration then when others hesitate, take charge. And therefore it comes into me like, well, I just do this thing then. I'm sick of us talking about it. I grab my sword and I run this guy through. Like, who's going to stop me anyway?
Yeah, no, that's a perfect instinct because that you will definitely get fate points for that. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a good instinct.
Real or imagined? See, that's the perfect part about that from Alex. whether it's real or imagined. If there's hesitation, then I do it.
Yes.
I do the thing.
Yeah. Is Leroy Jenkins a trait? Yeah.
I feel like it could become a treat.
Time's up. Let's do this. Is
My-
there... Where's the fry? Always find the fried chicken. All right. What else? You have one instinct left, right?
That's 3 instincts.
okay.
Am I supposed to have 4?
Nope. You have 3.
No, 3.
No? All right.
Okay.
So never judge a book by its cover, which will be replaced by a thing. Always meditate on the word of Gorham. Or always take time to meditate on the word of Gorham. And when others hesitate, take charge.
Yes.
There we go. I believe that's everything.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like that trait could lead to the impulsive trait if you wanted it.
We'll see.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So I think that will I think we're done character generation then. We burned our characters. So I don't think we have time to go into playing today. But I'm really glad we took the time to nail all this stuff out. How about we go over and say who we all are and all that kind of stuff again for outros. I'll go last. So let's go with AP. Arthur, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm AP Gaming Real. You can find me at youtube.com/AP Gaming Real. Can I put links in your chat without your bot messing me up?
Just send it to me. I'll do it because I'm a mod.
I mean, I am also a mod.
If you're a mod,
you're modded. You can do it. Yeah.
1,000 hours of tabletop role-playing content, plenty of other stuff. Eric and I do a Kingmaker thing Saturday night. He's a diplomat. I'm everything else.
You're the master of the game.
Game.
Oh, you know what? Because it's D&D, I didn't often get to do this, but I can officially call myself a dungeon master for that campaign.
Hoo-hoo.
Yeah, you can.
The host tells you can't use unless you run the world's oldest role-playing game system.
That's true. Cool.
Find me there. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, all AP Gaming Real. Follow, like, subscribe.
Yeah. And Sam?
I am Sam. Wise Fool on Discord places, Wizard Fool on Twitch. I don't do a lot of other sort of streaming or games, so if you want more of me, you just have to go watch more of Eric Vulgaris' stuff, I suppose.
Yeah.
I show up a couple other places now and then as guests on people's shows, and I'm always hanging out in people's chats, so if you see me, say what up. Yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Cool. Wreckage?
Hi, I'm Dr. Wreckage. I do a lot of this. I apologize for taking up so much time, but I was a last-minute entry into the game. If you would like to see more of me doing game mastering and playing, follow me on Twitter at Dr. Wreckage. If you happen to be one of the Venn diagram of people who likes tabletop role-playing games and Magic the Gathering, then I strongly encourage you to follow me on Twitch, because in about 15 minutes I'm going to be doing an Eldritch Moon draft. Yeah, you can do that.
Awesome. Cool. And last but not least, Michael, MTO.
Hey, I am MTO. You can follow me on Twitter at MTO2424. I am the founder and lead game designer of Swift Kite Design. And I'm currently working on a project called The Circles, which is all about witches and shamans and being weird and awesome. Come check us out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That sounds amazing.
You say that. Are you just being flattering, or do you mean it?
No, like I've always been looking forward to, like, I don't know. I've been playing so many games that I guess don't really include that much magic that I kind of want to try a little bit more of that again.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Also, it's worth saying that most systems don't have a focus on the magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most systems are like, and here's our magic system.
In this, the magic is in fact the system, because if a human could conceivably do something, you don't roll for it. You either get help from magic or you don't roll. So it's all about the magic, which is fun.
Right. So that's not typically the way that a game goes
Sam,
about
your camera went out, by the way.
No.
Oh, Oh, Sam.
So sad.
All right. Yeah. And so for everyone, I'm Eric. I'm Eric Vulgaris online. I play a bunch of games. You can join me again, I guess Wednesday. Wednesday for over at Henley's channel for the opening game of a Stars Without Number game. But in the meantime, I'm also going to be doing some painting streams on Monday. I got some miniatures. I'm going to get into painting some miniature guys again. Recording a Stars Without Number podcast on Tuesday. I'm also doing Torchbearer on Wednesday here with Fake Alex and a couple others. Yeah, and
2 games on Wednesday.
Yeah, 2 games on Wednesday. Insanity.
Look at the endurance on this guy. Look at the stamina. Look at the masculine virility.
So hopefully you like this kind of stuff. If you're interested in more, you should definitely check out my YouTube at youtube.com/EricVulgaris, where I have a couple hundred hours of various games, different systems. I do like Once Upon a Game, story gaming stuff. So I do a lot of like one shot with strange systems like Fall of Magic and other like Fiasco, and kind of like more esoteric indie RPGs. So if you're interested in seeing other kind of cool systems, definitely check that stuff out. So that'll do it for today's character burning. We'll be back next Sunday, right? Sunday work for everybody?
Yeah. Better.
Sunday at 11 p.m. Pacific. So we'll be back, and we're starting our first session and seeing where Burning Crowns goes. So thank you very much, everybody. That's us. Take care.
You said PM again.
I meant AM.
You've written it and said it as PM every time.
I've written it and said it as so I meant to say it's 11 AM every time. I'm the worst. So
I did mention, Eric, every month, once a month, I work 1 weekend day. So I'm technically scheduled for this Sunday. I already talked to my boss, and I'm trying to get it moved. So fingers crossed, most likely I'm going to be able to do it, but I will let you know as soon as possible.